So I've got my skull and crossbones little charm here to put onto a bracelet, and I want to make a mold for this so I can cast it in pewter. First things first, let's have a look. I think what I'm going to do here, I'm going to move these features to the side. I could delete those little squares that I created in my last video. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to move this to the side like that, and I'm going to move this down to here. I tend to do this a lot. I like to keep all my elements of my drawing on the side. If it's off the drawing area, then it means it will be ignored by the laser cutter. Oh, and that one there, I'm just going to delete with the delete key on the keyboard. And then I'm going to probably, let's just see, what am I going to do? Let's select this. I'm going to deselect with shift click, the rectangular outline, copy, paste, and I'm going to bring this in. Okay, right, let's just go out to media there, and you can see how small this is going to be against a sheet of A3 paper. Now, I need to create now a grid, a different grid, because I'm going to make the card mold. So let's go to the grid settings, and I'm going to put my grid spacing here to 5mm, which is my normal setting, and I'm going to put my step spacing here to 1mm. Okay, let's confirm that, and I think what I'm going to do as well, this is me getting kind of a bit fussy, but I'm going to make sure step lock's on, and I'm going to snap this skull and crossbones pendant in so the bottom left corner is against my 5mm grid. Okay. Super. Yes, something else I'm going to do as well here. Let's go to the last view. Remember that this is broken down into lots and lots of little sections. What I'm going to do here, I think, is I'm going to select it all, and I'm going to group it together like that. And now if I select it, everything stays together, and I can't accidentally kind of move things around or separate things. Right, let's move that to the side. Now, for my mold, I've done this in another video, which you may have seen. I'm going to go to the rectangular shapes here. I'm going to go to my color. Let's put this back to black because that's my normal construction line tool. And let's now create a rectangle. For my molds, I'm going to make it 70mm wide and 100 in height. So again, look at the relative grid references down here in the bottom left. My mouse is pointing, and this is going to be therefore 70 by 100. Okay, let's pick up again my little skull and crossbones, and I'm thinking here, because my mold is quite big and I need it to be big so I can easily manipulate it and place it in our pewter casting machine. I think I can do 2 pendants with 1 casting. So I'm going to duplicate this with the grid lock turned on, and I'm going to put them side by side. How close do I want these? I think I can make them quite close. I need to make sure I've got a 10mm margin around the outside, so I'm going to pull that down a little bit there, and that means as well that I can have, yeah, I'll have that there. It means that I can have a nice big well and runner up here. I'll take it 5mm higher. I don't know, I'm just liking that kind of symmetry of the margin around the outside there. That's just me again. Let's zoom in here. Let's get some wells and some runners. So I'm going to have to just think this one through a little bit. I'm going to come to the path tool here. I think, yeah, I'm going to put my step spacing here to 2.5. No, I'll leave it. Right, so gridlock, let's have a see. I want to have a well here. So let's have a well coming down. That's going to be to pour the molten metal into. The molten pewter is then going to fill that well, overflow, and then come down these runners. So I'm going to have one runner coming into here, and I'm thinking now, yeah, this is where I need to come on to step lock, because I want to have a bit more control here over how these are going to go into the skull. So I'm going to have that 2mm wide. And then let's just have this coming up here. So I want it to overflow into there, and then I want it to overflow across into this little pendant like that, and then I'm going to have that coming all the way up to the top. So let's have it coming up to there. Yeah, something like that, and then I'm going to have it up to here and up to there. Did I have to do that little kink there in the runner? I don't know, not necessarily, but I'll live with it. Let's go to grid lock. No, I'll keep it on step lock. And let's now have a riser, which is like a little chimney, and I'm going to have that coming down here and then into that top left corner like that. And then we'll have another one just here, and we'll have that one coming up to the top there. Okay. Now that's basically the well done, but I need to add some colors to this so the laser cutter knows what to do. So I'm going to take these off to the side. Let's go to gridlock now so everything snaps back together again. Let's take those to the side here, and yeah, I group those together. So what I need to do is cut those out. So I'm going to come to my contour tool. I'm going to have a graphical contour with 0 spacing, and cutting on our laser cutter is this blue down here at the bottom, and I'm going to click and click. So I'm going to cut those 2 skulls out. I also want to do the cutout of the outline here, so let's just come to not delete any, but delete part, and I want to cut out that top section there. So now when I come to my contouring tool, in blue I can do a cutout of the card here to make my mold, and then I want this and this to be engraved. Now I want this to be a deep engrave, so I'm going to go to color, and I'm going to make this the green, which we have as our, this is red is a light engrave, and fluorescent green is a dark engrave. And I want to also make these little risers or chimneys a little bit wider so more air escapes. And I think if I come to my line settings and I specify that as a 1mm thick line, well, that's too much. Line again, I'm going to make it 0.5, half a millimeter thick line. I think that's going to engrave it out. I think that does, we'll see. So that's basically my mold ready, and let's have a see. I'm going to take these, I've got gridlock turned on, I'm going to bring them back in again. Where were they? That was the point, yep. So gridlock's help there just to snap those back in. So that is my mold ready. In fact, I'll do one more thing here. I am going to select both of those. Yeah, you can see here exactly what's going to be cut out, okay? Oh, I'll leave those in. Doesn't really matter too much. No, I'll take them out. I'm going to cut it like that. So I'm going to save that now, and I'll pause the video, and I'll come back with the mold to show you what I get. Okay, so laser cut finished, and here's the result. So you can see with my cutting mat here and the grid on the cutting mat that this is 1 centimeter, and here's the card that I cut it from. That these are quite small little charms, so I'm going to just try and pull out the mold there. Is that working? It seems to be a little bit caught just there. I'm not quite sure what's happening. Yes, it hasn't quite cut all the way through there on the back surface, but if I just work that a little bit. Okay, I'm coming back with an X-Acto blade. Okay, so let's just use this X-Acto blade. Lock the blade in position. Let's see if I can just cut through the card there. I'm not quite sure what's happened there. I need to adjust perhaps the settings on the laser cutter. To be fair, I mean, it doesn't matter too much here because actually this is going to be the runner, and this is going to create the sprue that will cut off. Yeah, that's got it. Okay, now don't forget to retract the blade there. Okay, so that can be used for some more molds. I'll put that to the side, and you can see here the actual physical size our little charms are going to be, so they're quite cute. I'm actually thinking they could be even smaller, but I've got it this now, so I'll run with it. And actually this is upside down, of course, isn't it, because I need it this way around, and I can see I've got these chimneys here for the air to escape. Now I'm just looking there at the depth of that engraving. So our line thickness in 2D design, if I just bring 2D design back again, that line thickness that I created, let's just select that and go to line. That was 1/2 mm thickness. That actually worked rather well, but maybe I need to change the beam power or the feed speed, increase beam power or reduce feed speed, so that's a little bit of a deeper engraving for the riser there to be a bit deeper. We'll see. Anyway, that's good to go. I'm going to prep that up now, ready for casting, and I think again I'll do that live on the camera here. So I'm just going to pause and then show you again how that works. So what have we got here? 3 bulldog clips, and I've got a whole bunch of old molds here of different types, which I'm going to use as backing plates for making my little skull and crossbones. So most of these are card, but I have some MDF as well, but card is normally fine. What I'm looking for here is a piece of card that certainly hasn't got any damaged area, like this has been used for a previous casting here, and this that actually looks quite clean and neat. And if I put my finger on here, it seems quite smooth. There's a slight indent, but I'm not going to worry about it. And there's some burn marks here, which would be a problem if I was casting this way around, but that's going to actually be on the well and the runner, so I'm going to go with that one there. And I think for the other side I'll go with a piece of MDF just to see if there's any kind of difference there, and it feels like that's the better side. So here we go. It doesn't matter whether I put the MDF or the card first. Let's place that here, and it should be just the perfect size, which is what it is. And I'm going to place this that way around so that this damaged side of the card is on the outside. So you can see here that I've got my well top left, so it's there where I want to be pouring my molten metal. I'm just going to, with my fingers, just feel that lining up. Let's put a bulldog clip on the bottom there. Okay, and then on the sides I'm going to have one here. That's not going to go all the way in, obviously, because I've got the arm here of this lower bulldog clip kind of blocking, but that's fine. Let's have this one here. And then because I've got the well on this side, I'm going to flip the bulldog clip closest to the well across, so I'm going to place it into the pewter casting machine in this orientation. Okay, so I'm going to pause this now. I'm going to go to the pewter casting machine, I'm going to cast it, and we'll come back and we'll see what we have. Okay, so I've cast the pewter into the mold. And you can see here where the pewter's actually flowed into the well and then down into the runner. That's a little blob there that actually just run onto the side, which is no problems. What I want to try and avoid, of course, is the pewter running down onto the bulldog clips, and as you can see here, that has happened in the past, but it didn't happen this time. Okay, so I've left this now for about 10 minutes. It's cooled down sufficiently for me to therefore just be able to touch the metal. Let's take the bulldog clips off and see what we have. Now I'm saving all these little bits of pewter because I can put those back into the pewter casting machine and remelt them. So I expect to have two little skull and crossbone castings like this, and interestingly, look, the MDF has actually come off really easily there. Very interesting. And let's have a look what's happened. Oh dear, that didn't work as well as I thought it would. So this can happen on occasion. I clearly need to do this again. So I'm trying to work out what happened here. The pewter flowed down and then it just didn't like it. So, I think I'm going to have to redo this, and I'm going to redesign the wells here so they flow more easily. I'm also wondering as well whether that MDF cooled down the pewter too fast. Very interesting that. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to modify this. I'm going to recut it. So I'm going to recast it, and I'll discuss with you, depending on how well it works, I'll discuss what I changed and whether it worked or not. Okay, so that's going to be in the next video.